Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Rich, Tower of Vape. I know it's been a while. It's been like over a week since I actually made a video blog, but a lot has happened. I swear, a lot has happened since a week ago. Let's just talk about the fact that I went away for a week. Yeah, that's right. I left February 22nd on a Friday morning, and I came back just this past Friday, March 1st. So let's get right into it. What exactly transpired all this? So, a week ago, I guess it was like a week ago last Monday. I think it was like on February 18th or so. I was in a show I was a viewer at a show for DJ Vapes over at VapeNet. There was Kim and Drew from Delaware Vapor. And basically we were talking about meets that were coming up. The first meet that we were discussing was Vape Bash. That was happening in Chicago in second week of April. I think it was April 12th and 13th, I believe, were the dates. And I was kind of iffy on going because in case things were better with me and my life kind of returned to normal. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to have the time to go. But one thing led to another, and I come to a realization that, yeah, no matter what, I'm going to go to Vape Bash. Another topic came up that week, and that was the fact that DJ and Von D were going to go to the Buffalo meet that week, later on that week. And basically DJ said that he was still waiting for his passport to come in. And if his passport did come in, he was going to go to Buffalo and go to the meet. So I went to him, I was like, hey, you get your passport, I'm definitely going to go. So he gets his passport that Wednesday. I think it was a couple days earlier, the 19th. Was it the 19th or 20th? The 20th, I'm sorry. And I was like, all right, fine. So I joined the Western New York, Southern Ontario meet group on Facebook and said I was going to go. So Dimitri added me to the group. I Skype Dimitri, and I tell him, hey, I'm going to the Buffalo meet. So thanks for adding me to the group. Then he tells me that he's going to the Buffalo meet. So next thing I know, I find out that he's going to the meet. Jamie from Vape Team's going to the meet. Phil Basardo's going to the meet. Jeannie K's going to the meet. Niagara's going to the meet. Plus like a couple local people that I know, like Mitch and Lisa were going. That live in Buffalo. And like the guys from Vape Patrol, like CJ and Andrew, and then obviously the host, Andre, and then the guy he works with, Joe, aka Iron Bites. So I was like, alright, cool. So this is going to be awesome. I'm going to have a good time. So I left Friday morning, the 22nd, and I took my time, so I left maybe here around like, roughly like 7, maybe between 7 and 8 in the morning. Did like 2 errands, and I was on the road by like 9 latest. I get over to Vapor Trail roughly between 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I put in an order for CJ. I basically looked at him and I was like, CJ, it's like, I never had any of your juice yet. And they were surprised because I saw them at Vape Expo and VaporCon and never got a lick of their juice. So I started out by saying, I want 20 small bottles of juice, 18 milligrams. And he was like, okay, 20. He told me what kind I wanted. I was like, fruit, dessert, whatever. A little time passed. The store is packed, mind you, at Vapor Trail. Those guys are busy as hell on a Friday afternoon. And a little while later, I walked towards the back, and I was like, you know what? Forget the 20. I want 40 flavors. So this is the bag that I got. That's right. 40 bottles of Vapor Trail juice. And I was actually vaping a lot of the banana nut, which was really good. But I remember there's one flavor in particular I'm gonna be trying a lot of. I saw one called CJ's Beard. So pretty much expect me to be vaping a lot of this week to try it out. So on my Vapor blog, I'm probably gonna be talking about this quite a lot this week. So anyway, that was pretty much Friday afternoon. So I hung out over with them until about maybe, I'll say until maybe like 6 o'clock, and CJ had left. They were hanging out there because they were open till 8 o'clock. So I said goodbye to Andrew and all the guys that were there, and I went to check into my hotel. I go to the Holiday Inn downtown. I find out that they gave away my room. Yeah, they gave away my room because there was a George Strait concert that night. So I was like, what the hell? What am I supposed to do? So I decided that, just on a hunch, I was going to drive over to House of Vapor and just see if like Andre was still there. And luckily, even though they had closed their doors, Andre was still open. And him and Iron Bites were there, and they actually helped me secure a room at another Holiday Inn at the other side of town, kind of closer to where they were in Kenmore. Excuse me, it's always good to hydrate. So, okay, I was like thinking, alright, I'll head over to the room, but then Andre goes, hey, you want to have dinner with us, right after we close the shop? I was like, great. So I went and I had dinner with Andre and Iron Bites, and Iron Bites is a vegan, so he had like hummus and salad, and I was still kind of like a little wheezy on my treatment, so I just stuck with soup. I had like a couple bowls of this like banana pepper chicken noodle, chicken soup, and it was really, really delicious. And Andre had like the fish fry, and I was jealous because fish fry is some of my favorite food. And we hung out there for a couple hours, left the restaurant, and literally this was like walking distance from House of Vapor. So I had a good time with Andre and Iron Bites, and it was cool getting to know them a little bit in real life, because I have talked to him a little bit here and there from like chat rooms in vaping related shows or like in forums or whatnot, or even Facebook. I never actually sat and talked to him for a long period of time, so it was cool. So we're in Saturday. The meet at the Buffalo Vape meet started over at House of Andre around 1 o'clock, but I didn't get there until 1:45 because I literally couldn't drive. Now, mind you, I don't really talk about my health so much, but there is one thing that does happen to me. When I get very bad migraine headaches, my vision gets blurry, and I literally could not drive to the meet. So I had to wait in my hotel room for a while and wait for my vision to come back after taking some meds, and then I was able to get there. So I did get there a little bit late, and the meet was in full swing. By the time I got there, it was like Rich and Bondi and I think somebody else. It was like 3 people bringing in a bunch of drinks for people, like bottled water, sodas, and stuff like that. And it was really a fun time. I mean, I took a lot of pictures. I do have them posted on my Facebook page, and I could also put links under my YouTube description if you want of my week, because I did chronicles pictures of the people that I have run into this week. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Let's just stick with Saturday. So I did go to the meet. It was really fun, and after we went to House of Vapor, we decided to all go to Juicy Vapor. So we hung out over at Juicy Vapor. They had dinner for us. Like, I didn't really eat. I stuck with soup that night. I did get soup after I left Juicy Vapor around 8:30. It was a fun, quiet time afterwards. Like, I was sitting in the lounge. I was like talking to Jamie, his girlfriend, and his roommate a lot, and and the other guys. There's some other people that were there, like Andre, Iron Bites, Phil, Pizarro, Dimitri. They were all sitting at another table, all chatting around, it was. I thought it was a nice, chill place. I mean, let me tell you, Juicy Vapor's store up there is really nice. I mean, it's kind of split up, like comparing it to House Vapor, like, and Vapor Trail. Like with Vapor Trail, you go into Vapor Trail, and as soon as you go in, here's like the counter, and here's like a space. Over here, open space for people to walk in, and literally they're just lines. There's lines by the register, there's lines by the area where you place their order, and then there's like seats for people to wait around while they're waiting for the orders, like mostly waiting for their juice orders. And then there's like a door on the side where there's like a basement area where they have like a whole bunch of supplies, and they have a bathroom, whatever. So that's Vapor Trail. You go into House of Vapor, you walk in, and towards the left and straight ahead is the counter. And I didn't see the back end, but I heard there's a huge warehouse in the back end of the store. And there's a couple seats over in the front towards the left. And if you go to the far end of the counter, you see like the really nice high-end mods. He had nice high-end mods. You go over to the right side, and there's like a lounge. And I did take a picture of that lounge. I did post that. It's part of my photo album that I do have on my Facebook page and whatnot. So that was House of Vapor. You go into Juicy Vapor. Now this store, you walk in and it's kind of split up. On the left side of the store, you got all the hardware where you sell like Cleros, devices, atomizers, cartomizers, you name it, all on the left side. Then there's literally like a split, like like you walk through like open door. There's like no door there. It's just like kind of like where you would be able to put a door, but you walk into the other side, and then there's where all the juice is, and everybody, people have all these boxes out. The people at work have all these boxes out where you can taste the different juices and whatnot. Now, mind you, it's all zero nic, but at least you can taste the actual flavors before you buy it. So that was like a nice service that they all have for their people who want to try different flavors. Because if anybody who knows Juicy Vapor, they have hundreds of flavors. So it's a nice service that they offer. And then if you walk towards the end, it's like the bathrooms, like a couple tables and a bunch of seats, and then like a big screen TV for people to chill out. And that's where I basically hung out with that night, because I was kind of getting tired by that evening, because I was there from like I would roughly say from like 6 to about 8:30. And luckily the hotel I was staying at was just like a few miles down the road from Juicy Vapor. I left, went back to my hotel that night, and then DJ Vapes and Von D came, hung out with me for a couple hours. They were just chilling out before they left to relax, before they went and met up with Dimitri at the casino in downtown Buffalo. They went down, had fun at the casino. I just stayed and had a good night's rest because I knew I was going to Toronto the next day. So we're into Sunday, okay? Sunday, I go with DJ Vapes and Von D. We go into Toronto. First, we go into Von D's hometown, which is pretty much just over the border. I was fortunate enough to meet his mom and stepfather, and I met his 2 dogs and his lizard. He has a lizard also. And I saw Von D's little setup. He has a nice broadcast setup. And he has beautiful dogs, just gorgeous dogs. 2 big, he had an old English bulldog, which is maybe like 40-some pounds, and he has his other dog, I guess it's I don't know what kind of dog it is. I guess it's some kind of lab mix, a darker dog, beautiful, gorgeous dog, and you can tell that was Von D's buddy, because just the look on his face when we were leaving, he like gave Von D that look like, "What are you doing? Why are you leaving?" So you could tell that there was a very strong bond between them, and I thought that was kind of cool. So anyway, after that, we went into Toronto. Before we went to Toronto, DJs actually went over to the 747 market, which is outside of Toronto, so I could visit a person that I hosted with, and a fellow host from the former TVN network, and that would be Vape-tastic, aka Pat. So he works for a vendor up there called Can Vapes, and I went and met up with him up there, and we were talking. While we were talking, he informed me that getting to Michigan is only 4 hours away from Toronto. If you cut across, from Toronto, if you cut across Ontario. Now, in my mind, I'm like, wait a second, you account for going through New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and then Michigan. I didn't even think about the fact that since I was already in Canada, I could just cut across Ontario and get to the Michigan border in record time. So that's exactly what I did the next day. But again, I'm jumping a little bit too fast. So that night, Sunday night, I met DJ's girlfriend, lovely lady, and we went out for Vietnamese food, which was really good. And afterwards, we had some bubble tea. Head back to DJ's, hung out, vaped out for an hour, talked about vaping, because basically, what else are you gonna do with your buddies in the vaping community but talk about vaping and be excited about it? So we did that, and then later on, I stayed at a hotel, maybe like a few, like maybe less than 10 minutes away for the night, and got in touch with Slinger that night, and I was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? He was like, nothing. Why? I was like, you want to hang out? And he kind of was like, what? So next thing you know, I'm making plans, hanging out with Slinger and Jesse for Monday, and that's what I did. So Monday, after checking out my hotel, I hung out with DJ and Von D. I had lunch with them, vaped out some more, took some pictures, left there Monday afternoon, and drove to Detroit. Well, they live outside of Detroit in the suburbs, so and Jesse and Slinger live fairly close to each other, so I hung out at Slinger's for the night, and I stayed over, and we had dinner. I had dinner with him and Jesse. We had Mexican food, and we spent the whole night just like, he was modding, seeing Jeff mod. He like actually fixed my Dima, but unfortunately something's up with it again, so I'm gonna have to send it back. Tomorrow my poor Dima's broken again. I broke it twice, so I gotta send it back in. He said he's cool fixing it. I'm sure I did something stupid. He's probably gonna look at it and be like, "Oh no, what'd you do?" So I'm sending that back to him tomorrow. But yeah, it was so much fun hanging out with Slinger and hanging out with Jesse Fabulous, and Jesse hooked me up with a new juice that she was working on called Red Rum, and it is fantastic. And I'm not really going to give you a rundown of it or anything like that. I'm just saying it's awesome, and you'll see it on our site, vaporindulgence.com. I highly suggest ordering a bottle because it's awesome. But anyway, we basically hung out, had a couple drinks. I was drinking apple cider. I had a couple apple cider drinks, and it was just fun spend time with Jeff and Jesse because I haven't seen him since Expo. Now, mind you, at Expo, it was kind of busy, so I didn't really get a chance to really talk to Jessie that much because she was just totally busy the whole weekend. But it was nice being able to sit down with just the two of them and really just talk about whatever. We weren't even talking about vaping half the time. We were just talking about life. They were asking me about how I was doing, asking how they were doing, and it's nice to be able to see people that you know in the community face to face and hang out, and that was pretty much the whole premise of my week. But it didn't end there. I stayed over. Obviously, I did stay over at Slinger's house that night, and I do thank you, Jeff, for lending me your laptop. I did watch Star Trek Voyager on Netflix, and it was fantastic. Going to bed. I wake up. I wake up Tuesday morning, and Jeff and I hung out some more. We had lunch. Jeff cooks a mean steak, and he hooked me up with not one, but he cooked me 2 steaks. He cooked me a steak for a midnight snack on Monday night, and he cooked me another steak for lunch. So, yeah, bro, the steaks are awesome. So I really appreciated that. And not only that, he hooked me up with a couple things. One, he hooked me up with a really nice poker chip case that doubles up as like a mod holder case. I have it over here. I can show you real fast. Hold on. I'll open it up. I still have some stuff in here, but I did pull out most of my mods. Let's see. I still got like juice and stuff in here. I mean, it's awesome. It was a really beautiful gift that who hooked me up with, and I do appreciate it, Slinger. Thank you so much, man. Hold on, just put that back. Alright, and then, let's see what else. Another thing that he gave me was, he gave me this. Now, the story behind this is that he actually got this box from Joe Castor. It was basically a bottle feeder, but he modified it. He epoxied the hole on this, and where you put the bottle, he actually put in like a variable voltage chip on it, so that you could change the voltage using a screwdriver in the bottom. And when you turn it up, when you hit the firing mechanism, it lights up. So, how nice is that? So I have this set at like, I have this set at 4.5 volts. He set this up for me, and it's wonderful. So I thank you so much for that, brother. And thank you so much for your hospitality. I really appreciate it, Jeff. You're a class fucking dude, bro. So anyway, let's get on to Wednesday. Tuesday afternoon. I left Slinger's house like Tuesday afternoon, and I went over and I drove to right outside of Canton, Ohio, and I went over to Joey, Uncle Joey, I like to affectionately call him. He is currently a host at Quest Vaping. He does a show on Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and he also does a show Sunday mornings. Everybody who knows him knows that he's pretty much the daytime vaping host king, that I like to say, because he does have one of the most popular vaping shows during the day, in Vape Network. So I didn't get to his house until roughly like 10 o'clock because the roads were really bad, and I got stuck in traffic in Detroit and in Toledo on my way over to his house. So we got to his house, and we were up until about 3 o'clock in the morning, just chatting and catching up. I went to bed, woke up Wednesday morning, and I swear I had the biggest sore throat. I mean, I couldn't even swallow. You know when you have that kind of sore throat when you swallow and your ears hurt? That's the kind of sore throat I had. So I went over to his vape lair, and Joey being who Joey is, he goes, "Stop your whining." He was like, "Here." So he gave me a bottle of synthol e-juice by Nickwood, and I took some medicine, and I was vaping synthol like all day, even during the show. He was broadcasting the show. I was guest hosting a bit here and there on it because Drew wasn't able to make it, and I just kept on vaping synthol. And by that afternoon, my throat was pretty much okay. I was shocked. I was just like, wow, this synthol stuff is awesome. So Joey gave me the rest of his bottle of synthol, and he picked up another bottle of synthol for me because he had to go over to Alt Smoke. I didn't really manage to go over to Alt Smoke. Instead, I went down to the basement where Mrs. Joey works. Mrs. Joey has like a home-based business where she makes quilts, and they're beautiful, beautiful quilts. So needless to say, I hung out and talked to her for a while. And then I basically spent like the rest of the afternoon hanging out with Joey and his wife, and I left there about 7. So I have a cute few pictures of Joey and his wife also. And thank you, Joey, for letting me stay over your house and your hospitality. And I was glad I got to see you before you had to go into the hospital for your procedure. He had a procedure he had done on Thursday, and I've been pulling for him to get better as quickly as possible. So much love, Joey. So anyway, to the people that I have seen thus far, it was just a great time. After I left Wednesday night, the roads started getting a little bad, so I actually pulled off outside of State College, PA, Wednesday night, and stayed at a hotel. And then I left Thursday morning, and I was meeting up with a childhood friend, a friend of mine, Giovanni, because he had broken his device and he didn't have any more devices to use. He was using Halo disposable e-cigs. I was like, oh my god. So I met up with him that afternoon when I got back into town. I got back into town, my hometown, around 4 o'clock. Met up with him, and then him and I gave him my Tesla, and I gave him a Boss mod, and gave him a whole bunch of coffee e-juices because he loves coffee, and some banana e-juices also. So he was set up. So Giovanni, I hope you're vaping well, my friend. So it's all good, and hope to see you soon, bro. So there's Thursday. I come back to my mom's that evening, and when I came home, I went and checked email on because I have my laptop set up on my dad's old office, his desk in his my parents' house, my mom's house, where my dad used to had his desk, and I checked the email. And I saw that Russ had messaged me on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, you going to the meet tonight in New York?" So I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll go." So yeah, my week just didn't end there. I mean, I was back in New York, but then here I was going to the New York City meet in Lower Manhattan. He has a weekly meet, a monthly meet at the Whiskey Ward in Lower Manhattan. So I got there roughly just past 9. I got a little lost. I actually parked my car right next to the Whiskey Ward, okay? But stupid me walks all the way around. I walk literally all the way around to get to the Whiskey Ward. It was a total dirt moment, especially for somebody that grew up near the city, so I don't have an excuse. So I went there and I met some cool people. Like I met this guy Jim, this guy Andy. They're local vapors. Randy, he was a local vapor. I saw Cisco there. I didn't talk to him for a while because he was engaged in conversation with other people, but I talked to him later on in the evening. I talked to Andy, who's the, I think his name was Andy, yeah, that's the digital trends journalist. So we were talking about vaping for a while. And then I also met up with Russ, and I guess he had his buddy Steve was there. So I think that's his name. So yeah, it was a really good turnout that night, and you know, like I had one drink because I was driving, so I had a Jameson's double barrel with soda to start off my night, and then I pretty much spent the rest of the night drinking like diet soda and water the rest of the night, and I was probably there until about 12:30. Vapor Alec actually showed up a bit late. He didn't get there until almost midnight. So he gets there. He said he went to a Broadway play. And I probably left around, I would say around 12:30. I left there that night and came home. So I have some pictures from that also that Russ put. Russ had pictures from that night. So I added my pictures to it, and he picked it up on imgur.com. And I have those up on my Facebook page also, so where you will see this video. And obviously you'll see this also on YouTube. So this is my week. I came back to where I live now in Kingston last Friday evening, early evening, after spending the night at my mom's. So if there's anything I could take away from this whole week, was that, one, I was experiencing serious cabin fever because I was either in a hospital bed, in some kind of treatment, or I was home since January 15th. And I needed out. I just needed out, so I threw caution to the wind, and what originally was supposed to be a meet in Buffalo, where I was only supposed to spend a couple of days, turned out to be one hell of a vaping week. And it's something I won't forget for a while, because I was able to see what I would consider some of my closest friends in the community. You know, I didn't see them all. I did manage to see some of them, and it was a great time. For any of you out there who, you know, are in those situations where maybe you may feel a little stressed out, may it be because of work, personal reasons, or whatnot, and you just feel like you need to get some fresh air and just think things through, there is nothing better than to be a part of what you're passionate about. May it be vaping or something else. But for me, I chose vaping as my catalyst to get some fresh air and to gain some perspective on my life, at which way I want to go. Because I really feel that I'm at a crossroads as to what I want to do with the future of my life. And to be honest with you, it's looking pretty good, and there's nothing like getting that time away to just clear your head. You know, I mean, my head, my way, you know, literally, my example. So that's pretty much it. That was my week, and I know this is a very long video blog, so thank you very much if you've lasted this long, and much love to all of you. And thanks for following my Facebook page. I'm pretty close to having my domain up. I really am. So if you go to towervape.com, you'll see that it's not in a holding pattern, that there is something going on there. I have my buddy Lunch, who's finishing up some coding, and hopefully, like, I'll talk to him. I think it's still in the testing phase, even though part of it is live. But I'll talk to him and see how much it can be utilized, and then hopefully it can be used, and then it will expand my reach, because I really do want to reach out to non-smokers and people in my people that I network outside of the vaping community to see how viable it is to use vaping, or otherwise known as an electronic cigarette to more popular circles, as a viable form of tobacco harm reduction over smoking cigarettes. So thanks a lot, guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Be cool.